Ranked on ranked matchup in Champaign, Illinois. Number 1 Ohio State at number 17 Illinois. Julian Sain and the top-ranked team in the country won 11 straight trips to Champaign. Fighting Illini seeking their first win against an AP top 5 opponent since 2007. Did happen against Ohio State that year. In a 3-0 game, Luke Altmaier's passes popped up in the air. Peyton Pierce gets under it. Altmaier able to make the tackle. First pick of the season. Sets up an Ohio State drive on the 35. Ensuing drive from the 1. C.J. Donaldson makes it a 10-0 game on his 5th of the year. Just under 4 minutes left to go in the half. Sain surveying the field. Dumps it off to Bo Jackson, who does the rest. 20-0 Buckeyes right out of the gates. It'd be 20-3 coming out of the break. Just over 2 minutes left to go in the third. Donaldson powering his way to make it 27-10. Second game this season with 2 or more touchdowns. Early fourth, first and goal from the 2. Sain to Jeremiah Smith. Smith got banged up earlier in the game. Looked pretty good there. Ohio State would go on to win 34-16. They're now 41-1 in their first 3 Big Ten games since 2012. Their only loss was to Oregon last season. Taking a look at the box score there. 34-16 as the Buckeyes cover their 2 touchdowns and a hook. The under does cash. Up next for Ohio State, Wisconsin at Camp Randall in a game you can watch on CBS. Welcome to the post-game show here at CBS Sports HQ. I'm Tommy Trey, Damien Harris, Bud Elliot far down there at the table, and Bryant McFadden here. B-Mac, I'll give you first word here. Ohio State's defense finally showed a little bit of cracks there, but still a nice win for them on the road for Ryan Day. What stood out to you about the Buckeyes?
Yeah, the defense, they're human. They were all avatars, from another planet, but they're human. But they didn't live up to the billing, but they only allowed 16 points still. That's winning football in today's, college football landscape. What I love about their defense, they never allow you to get comfortable mentally. You have to always be thinking when you're playing against Matt Patricia and this Buckeye-led defense. Offensively, Luke Altmaier, he looked like he was rattled. He looked confused. He never got comfortable. They were 4-14 on third down. And we talked about with Illinois how important it would be to run the football to provide a sense of balance. Well, as a team, offensively, they average 1.7 yards per carry. Not even 2 yards. They didn't average 2 yards per carry. How can you win when you're playing against a team and they have dominated in that area where you just become one-dimensional? So you look at Julian Sain's numbers, he won't just blow you away. It was almost like it's pedestrian-like, but he didn't need to do a lot because their defense is really like that. So this is a team that's coached the right way. They tackle the catch. You don't see any open pass catchers running around. There's always someone accounting for an offensive play when you play against Ohio State, man. And once again, they add to their resume. When you talk about being one of the best teams in college football, you got to have Ohio State in that conversation, bud.
I mean, look, under 300 yards allowed, they faced 71 plays. I think that's a pretty good defensive effort. About a third, maybe more than a third of those yards for Illinois came on the final 2 drives, which were basically just garbage time. And one of the reasons why Ohio State's yardage was down is because they had 5 scoring drives that were basically 50 yards or less, right? Because the defense kept creating turnovers there. I agree with B-Mac. I mean, almost every single throw was contested. You saw Bielema getting on the refs about them being so physical. Illinois is typically very physical as well, with receivers. Ohio State's going to be physical. They are 8-0 in their last 8 games against top 20 teams. They come out, they handle business, and Sain just doesn't get them beat. And when there's that much talent around you, he's on target. There's run after the catch. He doesn't do a lot of crazy stuff. You don't ever see Ryan Day having to light him up. Dude, what are you doing? He just kind of understands who he needs to be for this team to repeat.
Not a lot of head-scratching moments, just great quarterback play, doing what needs to be done, getting Jeremiah Smith the ball when he's open, getting Carnell Tate the ball when they're open, handing the ball off to their running backs who produce good yards. And then the defense is NFL caliber, from their coordinator to guys like Caleb Downs to Sonny Styles. They've got NFL all throughout their defensive DNA. When we talked about Oregon earlier, what did we say? Oregon is a team that makes you have to beat them. They're not going to lose the game to you. You have to beat them. Ohio State is the cream of crop when it comes to teams that you have to go and actually beat them. It's because of 2 things. One, they're just more talented than everybody else. They've got the players. They have that. They're just a lot better. And then the coaching part, the coaching aspect. When we've talked about Brian Hartline and all the receivers that he's turned out year after year after year, I know there's been a lot of bad talk about Ryan Day because he can't beat Michigan, but we cannot diminish the greatness of what he is doing at Ohio State. You look at Matt Patricia. Now, we thought that this Ohio State defense might take a step back, not only because they lost a lot of guys last year, but also because they lost Jim Knowles, defensive coordinator, who led the #1 defense in the country right now, or last year, and now is at Penn State. But they are always so well coached. They're always in the right position. They're always in the right scheme. To B-Mac's point, you don't see wide receivers wide open. You see defensive backs, linebackers, sometimes even defensive linemen attacking the catch point. Every run lane is clogged. And then offensively, they're a well-oiled machine. They hand the ball off until they stop getting 3 or 4 yards a carry. Then they find a way to get Julian Sand to hit Jeremiah Smith on a crossing route that he takes for 15+ yards, and that's how they operate. That's how they move the ball. It's a foolproof plan when you've got the players for it, when you've got the scheme and the system for it. That is why Ohio State is one of, if not the best team in the country. It's because they have the players to make the plays, they have the staff and the coaches that put them in the position to let God take over and just let them do their job.
Go ahead, Bud. You want to say?
And they lost so much off this defense last year. We wondered who would step up for them.
Yep.
This Arvell Reese kid is different. Like he stands out in a huge way. 8 solo tackles, 1.5 sacks, batting balls line of scrimmage. He's 6'4.5", 244, and they got this dude like actually covering people too. This is very different. Like this is scary.
Just to piggyback off of what Damien said, most weeks Ohio State will have the talent advantage. They will have the dominant defense, but there will come a time when Julian's saying a better version of him will be required. And dare I say, I don't know if you guys are Dragon Ball Z guys, but he'll have to be Super Saiyan for them to win. Now, any concerns the way things are going, though, that if they need to hit that switch, Bud, that they're able to do so?
Not really, because nobody's really challenged these receivers. Everybody plays too high to say, hey, can you beat us with the run game? Can you execute in the red zone? One team tried it last week. It was Minnesota. How'd that go?
Didn't go well.
Not great, right? So I don't know who wants to man those guys up and really challenge them, but Sam was like, oh, I finally get to throw it deep. Watch this. He was perfect, man. I think the guy's really good.
And you also got to think again, if a team commits to, we're going to make Julian Sand beat you. Well, it's not just Julian Sand. It's Jeremiah Smith. It's Carnell Tate. It's Bo Jackson out of the backfield. Really good too. They've got a great tight end. So he's done what he's had to do so far. But then imagine this, Tommy Tran. Imagine a team that has 8 guys in the box and say, you know what? We're not going to let you run the football. You're going to have to throw to one of these guys outside. You got 53 yards wide, 100-yard field. Just throw it somewhere where number 4 will come down inbounds. Just do that. It's that simple. Because I guarantee you out of 10 opportunities like that, you tell Julian Sand, throw the ball down the field to number 4 10 times, he's going to come up with at least 6 as long as it's in bounds. That is a winning ratio for football. That is going to move the chain. 6 out of 10. If you're 6 out of 10 on third down, that's a great day.
Yes,
if you're 6 out of 10 on anything, that's a pretty good day.
Balls to Jeremiah are not 50-50 balls.
Yeah, exactly. They're more like 75-25 balls. I would take that percentage, and I have no – it's not even that I do or don't believe in Julian Sand. I just believe in 4 to come down with it. Whenever the time comes where he's just got to let it loose and say, you know what, I can close my eyes. He's down there somewhere. That is going to be a winning formula for Ohio State still.
Okay. #1 team looking every bit the part, according to our guys here at the desk, as Ohio State gets that victory on the road, continuing their winning ways. And these guys will get their look at Ohio State next week, live in person at Wisconsin. It's our college football pregame show from Roger Bash at Union South, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern on CBS Sports HQ.